Okay.
All right, we're live. We're live. Hey, everyone. It's Amber here. We're having a party. We've got Julie, Cuccia-Watts, and Peter Watts, and we've got Ginger Fae. We were supposed to have Candy. Candy had to cancel at the last moment. She is not feeling well. We were supposed. Oh, there we go. So I want you just all to send her lots of healing energy. She will be back for a Taronormal Investigation in the near future, but she is just feeling sick. So pretty sick. So we're gonna send her lots of love. And we've got so many awesome people here. Let's say hi to Jackie's here.
Jackie.
And Susie's here. I've missed you, Susie. And Ms. Wheats is here. Hey, Judy.
She just did. I caught yesterday a dang it all, the talk box, I'll call it. Dang it, the paranormal. I lost my words. Is that
Debbie?
Yeah. Which is funny because I thought about doing that tonight, but I don't have one.
Selkie. Okay, well, how did it go, Judy? Tell me, because when I did it, I got kicked off of YouTube. And I got like cited because it was making sounds, I guess, like a radio. And they just like threw me off and they got away. Yeah. Hey, Gigi.
Oh.
Yeah, so did it work out for you? Hey, Scott.
It was interesting for sure.
And Candy is here in spirit. That's okay. You get some rest. We're sending you lots of love and energy, and you'll be back for another Taronormal Investigation soon. Absolutely. Michelle is here. Who did I miss? Is Jennifer here?
Jennifer, yeah.
Hey, Jackie.
I can't see it yet. Jackie's here. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Hey. Awesome. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do something really special, everyone. And I'm gonna wait a little while until we do it. But
big shout out to Nicole Mullis. She works with me and she's joined in. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, cool, Nicole. Hi. So we are gonna do something pretty cool in the middle of this show. But in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're gonna go on a little journey together. And we're going to do a Taronormal investigation of a real space that Julie and Peter are going to tell us about. We'll look at some pictures. This is a real space that there's been some activity. Someone has been terrified of it. And so in the meantime, while you're listening, while we're going through the timeline of this place, you get your cards ready. And let's see what decks we have. You've got your cards ready, Ginger. What I called it. I said, Julie's going to have the Ma'at deck.
She did. She did.
You actually combined the journey into Egypt. It was like this tall. You know?
Shuffled the journey and Ma'at together, and I thought, that's too much.
Oh my
goodness. And let's see. So what decks do you have, Ginger?
Since she was telling me it was such a terrifying experience, I have the Madame Wilhelmina's Monsters, the Macabre, and Autumn Sea.
Ooh, that's perfect.
It's a really, really unique deck.
I love that.
And I also have Mystic Masters if this isn't working out.
That is beautiful too.
We're both.
Michelle has the Vampire Tarot. I was about to grab my Wildwood when something redirected my hand to get the the Victorian Fairy Tarot, and I don't know why.
Interesting.
But I did, so I was like, okay,
Sealy Fae on that property,
maybe. And then I also just grabbed the Wild Unknown for some reason. So.
For some unknown reason. Wild unknown reason.
So this is what we're going to do. Let's start with Peter and Julie. I'm going to mute myself and crawl under my desk, my brother's desk, to find a place to plug my computer. In the meantime, I'm going to let you guys take it away and tell us about the events that went down. And I am listening as I find an outlet somewhere.
So I think originally we were going to maybe do this about our house, and serendipitously, is that a word?
Yeah.
Our son-in-law was over for 4th of July, kind of celebrating birthdays, and he's just started talking about the house he lived in just north of us, and how terrifying it was. And so we asked a few more questions, and I did a little bit of research on the property itself. So I think we'll start, if that's okay with Julie. I think we'll just start with like kind of the background of the property. So first of all, we're in southeastern Wisconsin. We're right off the Rock River. On the side of the river that we're talking about, that was mostly Potawatomi, and on this side it was mostly Ho-Chunk. So there's a little like back history. It's known as the Grieve Log Cabin, and Carl Grieve moved to Lebanon, which is maybe 10 miles north of us. A very German settlement. And he moved to Lebanon from Germany in 1857. In the 1866 background of the city, he's listed as a blacksmith. So his background was a blacksmith. He built the log cabin, which was all hand-hewn, square type. If you can picture like Lincoln logs, that's the style he used. He didn't use a dovetail joint on the corners. He just literally did the kind of slap down. So they estimated it probably took him about a month, maybe a little bit longer to build it. And he built it somewhere between 1857 and 1858. And reading through some of the historical documents and the way that it was built, one of the quotes I saw in there is that it exemplifies the first homes erected by Pomeranian and Brandenburger immigrants, and he used all local materials, including mud and clay, right from Rock River. In 1858, he married a widow by the name of Ernestine Reamer, and she had 3 children, and one of whom was Joanna, and she was known as, wait, I don't know what that should, I didn't see what that said. It's just, she's known as Hannah. Now, in about the mid-1870s, a man named Albert Kron immigrated from Western Germany, and he was a carpenter. As a matter of fact, they found his toolbox in the upper loft, and when he renovated the house to make room for all of his kids, he made the doorway so narrow he couldn't get that toolbox out. So it was literally intact in that loft. And when they took apart the log cabin, which we'll get to, they opened it up and it was in pristine shape. So
we were all admiring your hair today, Peter.
We're the hair people.
Well, I have to say,
I always admire Julie's hair every time I see her.
Right? She's got.
But Peter usually has it back, so I don't get to see it.
But it's funny. It looks like I made that comment in my.
No,
chat.
it's because we'll talk about why that is.
Right. Okay.
We're almost there.
I figured it. Okay, I figured it was you. But a man leaving his tools and can't, get them out is enough for a haunting right there, I'm sure.
Yeah. Now, what I want to hear is, so are we saying names of the person who was haunted?
We can use his first name for sure. Sure, Austin.
Okay. All right. So now let's hear about Austin's earliest experience, like his very first experience in that house, and then let's read on that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was purchased by Jim Roberts in 1979, and not long after that, Austin's family moved into the house. Mm-hmm. So he lived at the Grieve Kron site. He didn't give us like an actual age. He lived there till he was 11, and he was pretty little when he started living there. And he has one younger brother. His experience, when talking with him, he doesn't really remember, but he said he always felt like he was being watched. Wherever he went in that house, he felt like he was being watched.
Okay.
So that was the first kind of like check that I picked up from him.
Okay, let's go into that. That sounds good. Let's all pull a card and read and see what was that presence that was causing Austin to feel watched, like someone was with him. Was it the same presence all the time, or was it multiple presences? What was causing Austin to feel watched? Basically, that's the question. Let's see what we get.
Oh, guess what? There's the portal.
Oh. Wow.
nativity that there, you know.
Yeah, you really got a portal there, and it looks like something's coming through it like an orb.
And it's a unicorn that in the background.
Definitely an opening to another time, another place, another season.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I got the Ace of Spring.
Oh, that too is spring. This is also a very springy card.
Transition from winter to spring.
Yeah.
Yeah, a liminal transitional portal. That's
And
really
Speaking
interesting.
of transitions, I have 3 of Wands. Oh, there I am.
That's
And you've
enough.
got wands too. So like Ace of Spring is wands.
That even looks like Austin.
You have wands.
That's it, really?
And I'm sorry, which card did you have again, Julie?
What? I'm sorry?
Sorry, which card did you have again?
The 2 of Wands.
So we all 3 got wands.
Right.
Okay.
That's very interesting too. So I wonder also if it's someone that had something to do with a wand or bat or wood.
Mm-hmm.
He was a carpenter.
He was a carpenter. There we go. Right, you just said that. So we all got wood, wand, trees, timber.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
And the cabin, of course, was made out of timbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Log cabin.
I'm curious about the emblem on his back.
And that's Germanic too, isn't it? Isn't that the German eagle?
Is it really?
The moon.
That would be interesting.
Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Very interesting.
Now, wow, cool. And we're getting some really interesting, the 2 of Grails, Michelle Ann, Jackie has got the 7 of Swords. Very interesting. Scott has got the Ace of Swords. Selkie said the energy seems to be high, getting someone on edge, a man.
Yeah. And so what gets me is his posture and everything. So it
No dejected almost.
it doesn't look like a person looking forward to a journey, or maybe he's just arrived from just an unsettling place.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Let's go on here.
Okay. So go on with Austin's next experience.
Okay, so and going back to the timeline, in 2014, the cabin was donated to the Lebanon Historical Society. So they dismantled the entire thing, numbered all the logs, and took it 10 miles north. Now, I think there was also a carriage house, but there's also a building there called, that Austin always kept calling, the shed. We went to go visit the property, and to me, the shed, well, it's like 2 stories. So it has a loft that has a smaller window way up on the top, and it had 2 small windows on the south end. And on 3 of the sides, it had doors, but nothing big enough for a horse. On the back side, there was a large window that could open, but it was all like one that would be hinged and open, and then 3 small windows that were the same. I'm thinking it was a workshop. So Austin's very first, kind of scary experience for him was putting his bike into what he called the shed. And I think it was mostly, it seemed like it had been a woodworking shop to me when peeking through the windows like some creep. So he said he was around 7 or 8, and he was putting his bike in the shed. And when he was approaching it, it was always at evening. He said always the stuff happened. It was always dark. So it was getting to be dark. He looked up in the upper window in that loft, and there was a person looking down at him. And that was the first time. That was the first time he saw an actual figure. And so I guess he opened up the door. I actually got goosebumps. He actually opened up the door and just pushed his bike in and ran into the house. That was the first time he had an encounter. Other than a sense of being watched, that was the first
Did he
time
describe the person?
He said he could. I said he couldn't get any kind of facial recognition. It was, and I did ask him on both accounts, because there's a couple other ones that happened. If it was kind of was it more translucent, transparent? Was it solid? He said it felt very solid. So it was just a dark shadow shape, dark, looking out the window at him when he was turning his bike away.
Okay, let's read on that. Everyone pull your cards. I'm going to mute myself because I have to do something and you're going to hear sound. So I'll be right back.
So as you were describing this, this popped out of my deck. It's kind of scary.
Oh, that's a scary creature.
Oh my goodness.
What is she carrying? What is that?
That looks like a blade of some sort.
Yeah, right. Almost like a feather, but it also looks like a blade.
Right. I mean, in some sense, at first it looks like a big fan, but it's got looks like a blade to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay, I got a thought of being a blade, but made out of bone, like the Indians would do. Okay, so let's pull cards on.
So Julie's copies.
Wow, I pulled a card on that too. But
What do you have?
Okay, let's pull a card on that energy.
So I wonder if this is a female energy then.
yeah, there's a female
That's
energy
another
there
female.
then.
Yeah.
Somebody who needs to get her power back.
Ooh.
Oh,
I got the magistrate.
Interesting. Let me mute my phone.
Someone who needed to get their power back. That's interesting. Maybe it had to do with like legal power. Something was taken away, or
Who had their power taken away?
maybe
Yeah,
someone was like actually demoted for something.
Well, consider that Hannah was the one who was related to the person who built the house. She may have feel like she's lost some of her autonomy being married to someone who now owns the house, because women couldn't own property.
That might be it.
She might feel like this was my house, and now you're
Yeah.
your house.
This is Ace of Swords, and at first I felt like that was a female hand, even though when I put it up to the screen, it might not be female. But the house behind it, the crown, you might be right on that one.
Now, I want to say something for everyone. We're going to do something a little cool now. Ginger has debuted her YouTube channel. So right now, I'm streaming simultaneously from my channel and Ginger's YouTube channel. The link is here. This is what I want everyone to do. Can everyone go click on that link and go to Ginger's YouTube channel and view it through Ginger's YouTube channel? You can open it up and then click off my YouTube channel and go watch through Ginger's YouTube channel, which is Ginger Fae Tarot and Divine Musings. You're not going to lose anything. We're still doing the same stream. Go sub and like the video on Ginger's channel and go watch through Ginger's channel right now. I'm going to put it back one more time. Right here's the link. Go click on it now. We're giving support. Surprise. Ginger's channel finally is here. And she's not just a Facebook group. She is also a YouTube channel. So please look. She got it from her. Okay, so sub and like from Ginger's channel.
Oh my goodness.
Let's go support Ginger's channel right now because I'm so happy she did one finally. She is going to be doing this Tarotnormal Investigation is her show. This will now be on her channel.
Yeah, I'm subscribed and I liked it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate Amber for helping me, and then Julie and Peter for helping me launch it off. And thank you so much.
Congratulations. Yay. So make sure you're watching from Ginger's channel right now. Not my channel. Go off of my channel. And Ginger's channel. All right. Okay, let's continue. People are clapping from me.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me all this time and encouraging me to have a channel. So thank you so much, because I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for your support. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're so happy that you have a channel finally. This is so exciting.
Don't be a stranger, though.
Exactly.
Well, I intend to do a Tarotnormal Investigation at least once a month.
That'll be really great.
Yeah.
Paranormal.
Taronormal. There's plenty of
So if anybody has a haunted place they want investigated, just let me know.
I do. I want to investigate the old house where I grew up, but let's go back to this house that we're talking about right now. But that's what I want to do in the future. Okay. So tell us. So Austin saw in the shed this face. This person.
Right.
A full figure. They couldn't see like who it was, but they saw that a person was there.
Like a full-size figure. It's a small window, so you wouldn't see the whole body, but it was a full-size person looking at it.
And what we pulled so far is we got a female energy, and we got something legal or losing their power, or perhaps because she was a woman, she couldn't own the house. Her husband had to own the house. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, being the Ace of Swords and pen and that was my baby who's going to be 21 here soon.
Oh my goodness, and happy birthday.
But not just
20. Oh, all right, like me. Yeah.
I have another month or so to Okay, Peter, go ahead with the story.
Yeah.
All right, so Albert Cron married that Hannah, which was the Carl Greaves, the one who built the cabin's stepdaughter. They had 6 kids, and as the family was growing, he started adding on to this log cabin, and so the next thing I wrote down for Austin here is that. I think one thing we should say is that I think his family can pretty much be construed as a conservative Christian family. So anything happening in the house, I think, was kind of doubly
frightening.
And it wasn't just Austin who was seeing stuff. So his dad was saying that he kept seeing this figure that he kept calling the old farmer in the kitchen. So I'm not sure if the kitchen was in the oldest part, in the log cabin part of the house, or if it was in the additions that were added on later.
I would guess the kitchen is probably always the kitchen, and then you just add on bedrooms.
You would think. So it probably is in the
part
oldest
of the home.
So
we pull cards on that?
He called the old farmer. And
Okay.
We don't know who that is.
The old
That's
farmer then.
I love that like other people saw. It wasn't just Austin, because that's rare. I've seen things, but my brother never like saw anything. But that's interesting, especially when they're a skeptic. All right, so who did the father see?
I'm not even sure if the old farmer is the right.
I got the conjurer.
Oh,
Interesting. Which is the magician.
Sure.
Hey, Jen, I was thinking about you.
Ace of coins.
Ace of coins.
That's a beautiful card.
I like putting them together. And what did
And then I've got 9 of Cups.
Yeah.
What do we think? That's
Maybe
interesting.
somebody really hasn't let go of either the property or worries about money, worries about security. Like they're still attached.
And part of me wants to think that maybe they sold it in between, but Metacron, when I say that together, Metacron, doesn't that sound like something from Transformers?
Yes.
Right.
Her name was Meta, Meta. She lived in that house until it was sold in 1979. So it stayed in that same family. It never got sold. So when I saw the issue, I thought maybe it was somebody that got sold to, but that's not
No,
it.
it's like it's their security.
Maybe they literally like buried money on the property.
Ooh.
I don't know.
That's what I got with the magician, because I get like a, I actually got like magician, like a disappearing act. And then with your money in the dirt, and then the 9 of Cups. Maybe they had like a security, like when people have money just in case there's an emergency, and maybe they buried it somewhere near the house, and that person is like tied to it because of that emotional.
Right. They feel like that was their dream come true, is having that home. But I was just noticing the similarities of they're both hooded women's.
Right.
That is interesting. They are both hooded.
Interesting.
Was it a hood? No. They didn't get the
No,
Wait.
wait.
Oh, there is a hooded figure.
Wait for it.
Later. Yeah, so the old farmer. I'm not sure. And again,
we have a question. Is there a graveyard in the background?
Not that we know of. I mean, I know there are a lot of family cemeteries around, right? But nothing that's that well. I mean, you get closer to the high school there.
I always want to say they moved the headstones, but not the body.
Right?
Yeah, well, who knows what's buried there?
Right.
Well, I was asking a little bit more on the.
Scott wants to be your first mod. Make your mods.
How do I make a mod? I don't know how to do mods.
So on YouTube, when you click next to the 3 dots next to them, it will say make moderator.
Oh, interesting. I don't see that yet.
Come on, do it.
Okay, so
it was very common for people to bury money in their property back then.
Yeah, we've never found money on our property though, and I've dug a lot of holes, a lot of.
Like I've been looking for it since I got here.
Digging. You got a big yard.
So I was asking a little more on this farmer, and this guy came up.
Well, he's cool.
So
well,
I'm laughing at the farmer.
Which card is that? I'm sorry. Which card is that?
The world card.
World card.
But I'm looking at his tattoos and the
It's an arrow stuck in his chest, right?
And it's the arrow in his shoulder here.
Kind of symbol.
So did you say the land was tied to was there Indian history there?
Absolutely huge Indian history.
Okay.
Can you also, because I know you sent it to me on my phone, so I can't get it on my computer, but could you show us pictures of the house? Or if you send it to me on Messenger, I can show it.
Oh, I can.
Because I want to show everyone what the shed looks like, because you guys can actually see it. I want you to get a feel for it.
I still have them.
All right, so this is, if I get this close enough and get a picture there.
Let's just, can we send like a whole picture?
If you do it on Messenger, I'll put it up for everyone.
All right, so.
If you can. If you can't,
Well,
it's okay.
I can.
Okay, so he wanted to know what deck I was using. Madame Wilhelmina's Monsters, the Macabre, and Autumn Scenes. And I got it off at Etsy. So it's an indie deck. Little bit pricey, but it was worth it. I use it all year round, but especially Halloween. And it's just an absolutely awesome deck. It does have some macabre and weird.
On Messenger?
Yeah, I'm sending it. I'm just sending it.
Okay.
Okay. Now.
So I take pictures all the way around.
Oh, here's Ginger's. Okay, just so you know, we're on Ginger's channel. We're supporting Ginger's new YouTube channel. So if anyone just came in, Jen, I think you just came in. If you could go watch it from Ginger's channel, you just click on this link, and we'll go watch it and like it and sub to Ginger's channel. I will go on Facebook and see if I can get that from you, and then I can show everyone this picture.
I can forward it. I can probably get it in chat.
I got it. Oh, you sent it? Perfect.
Yeah, and I just sent them to you.
Oh, perfect.
But I think Julie sent them to everybody the other day or something.
Yeah, I sent her the link.
All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everyone what this place looks like. So let's share. Done this enough times.
And I was also wondering if that was native energy as well. Didn't sense it. Now, when I approached that shed, okay, that's the shed.
Mhm.
I put my hand on the corner right to the left of that door.
Mm-hmm.
I held it there, and there was a definite hum in that building. I mean,
Oh yeah, you were saying that in the video, right?
yeah, very strong hum. I took my hand off thinking, okay, maybe it was the sun hitting it and it just feels different. Put my hand back on. It was still there, but lesser. I went around to the other side of, I don't know, that looked like it was carved in there. I mean, that looks like a rat hole, right? But it's like carved in there. I have no clue.
Yeah, that's carved.
Yep, I'm not sure why that's in there. Unless they had a cat, maybe.
They had a pet squirrel.
Or pet squirrel, maybe a cat. So that's
awesome.
And that's the side of the house. And you can look inside the windows, but see all the doors are not big enough for horses. And on that side of the house, hum was still there. Again, a little bit diminished from the first time. There's the backside. There's that big door I was talking about.
Wow.
There's the go through it. And then the windows that also opened up on hinges. So
and this is the land around it?
That's where the house and the cabin stood.
I sent you a picture of the cabin as well.
Yeah, so you got a messenger of the cabin that was there. So that's the shed that we were there looking at. Then Julie sent you pictures of the cabin that's now reconstructed up in Lebanon.
Yes, I'm going to put that up right now also.
I would like to pull cards on what the energy of that hum might have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It didn't feel like electrical. Like sometimes
all of a sudden I got this weird tingling right on the back of my neck when I said that.
Yeah, and I got goosebumps when you said it too.
Really? All right, definitely need to know what the thing is.
When I say hum, it was like query.
My whole head's
skipping.
But this is weird. Okay.
So it was more like a sound hum, not like that energy electric hum.
Right.
Which was interesting. I thought that was kind of weird.
What is this hum we're talking about?
All right.
So that's the actual cabin.
Right. And that's right when they were taking it apart, I think. They finished it off really beautiful. They did a really nice job. And that's taken from the Historical Society webpage. And now that picture that you can see kind of in the center, there's a little white arrow pointing to it. That's a hand-drawn map. We actually have a copy of that map that they think is representing that cabin. So, and the streets were named differently. They weren't called Spalding and Division and Water Street. Spalding was called Jackson in those years, and Water Street was called
Berlin,
right? Like in the city in Germany, Berlin Street. So, and they were later changed.
Wow. Bearing red beard. Hello, says, I bet you have a bunker.
Yeah, I didn't see any like manhole-y type of structures on there or wells or anything like that. But I mean, that stuff could have been filled in already.
Okay. So let's go on with the story. I like this layout. You could see us better.
Yeah.
Okay, so I pulled a card on the energy of the hum. And it was really interesting, the images in here. And I can't tell if he's holding a glass orb.
Ooh.
Or a wine glass. But it's almost like secrets. Secrets are here. Secrets are... I wonder if there was an affair of some sort even. But there's something secretive, definitely. And
there's a woman
about your magician guy, Amber. Because he came up too.
He's cool.
He's a Hierophant.
The card that I got for that energy was
the Hanged One.
The Hanged One.
There's a baby involved, maybe.
Yeah, there's a baby involved.
Ooh. The words on his book is Jupiter. So if anybody knows about Jupiter energy,
Patriarchal energy.
Okay, let's see. Try to jump away for a second. Candy says, I've had 2 cards jump out, both with white horses on. My first card, Ginger has a crystal ball on. Wow. Oh, I got a card to jump out. What did I get? Oh, that's interesting. 9 of Spring.
ooh,
Hmm.
look at all the skeletons on here. That makes me wonder what else is buried on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. So, like, he's got all these skeletons and things he's looking at. So it looks like some sort of, I mean, this is like some
Like
sort
the
of
upper window there.
Yeah, and there's the window, the upper window like yours.
Aston did say that they would go exploring and looking through all the junk.
In the attic.
The
He
attic.
called it the attic, right? It was probably a loft.
A lot of old junk. He also said that his mother blamed herself for all the energy and ghosts because of some like encounter she had, like they played Mary Worth or something, and she feels like she did something wrong.
Ginger, can you make Jackie a mod?
I can't seem to do anything on mine.
You just go to your channel
I'm
and
on
you
my
click
channel.
on that live, and in the oops, I have my thing.
Oh, I just
You're gonna
lost
see your
me all
chat.
over.
You're gonna see your chat,
Okay, I'm on my channel.
and you just click on the person.
When I click on Jackie, it just says go to channel, pin message, report, remove, put person. I'm putting you in
Add
time.
moderator. No. Add moderator. Yeah. At the very bottom.
300-second timeout. That doesn't
I was
seem
putting her in timeout.
that's not enough.
All right, Jackie, I put you in timeout. I mean, I made you a moderator.
Perfect. Okay, good. All right.
And
Perfect. And Scott. Yeah, and Scott.
that's funny.
Yay. The channel grows.
Thank you so much. And you know, Jackie is like
Hey, Carla.
one of the best moderators there are.
Yes, she is.
There she is. She's got a blue wrench. She's a blue wench. I mean, she has a blue wrench.
Perfect.
Oh. Also, this popped out as well. The Queen of Pentacles.
It's that same kind of like covering on the eye part of it.
So when you were starting to talk about Julie, about she's thinking she did something wrong, it's interesting.
Yeah. Well,
And there's a big bunny in there. That rabbit hole. It was a rabbit hole on the side of the building.
Oh.
well, it could be fertility
Well,
issues
that's right.
as well.
Or
Lots of babies.
or the
they had
babies. Yeah.
6 babies. That's a lot
That's
of
what I picked
kids
up
in
on,
a
too.
very small space.
Wow.
Think of the energy of that and the oppression.
Right, but you talked about maybe an affair type of thing, so maybe there was a baby
Right.
involved.
I kept thinking he said 7. I thought we read 7 children. That was in my mind.
Oh,
that
really?
It was
No,
7
I
children.
read 6, but I could be wrong.
I could be
6, but 1 secretive.
Could be. I mean, that's where.
Or maybe it was a miscarriage, or who knows?
Hmm.
That happened a lot too.
We did some fast research.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about this property at all.
Oh,
Okay, what's next then?
Let's
Let's traverse on.
So, the horses.
It's me and you with our white manes. 1, 2, 3. We're trick ponies.
That is so
You
funny.
only got one trick.
1 trick pony. What are we looking for
All right.
now?
So here's the next thing that was going on. Again, this is something that happened that all 4 members of the family experienced. So not just dad, not just mom, not just Austin, but also his brother. You're right.
Yeah.
So they had a rocking chair,
Oh,
and
right.
this rocking chair apparently kept waking them up in the night. When they'd go there, it was rocking. And it happened so often that
That's scary.
Austin's mom
That is
literally
scary.
grabbed the chair, ran it upstairs, turned it upside down so it couldn't rock, and it stayed up there until it moved. They never actually ever did anything.
Wow.
So the rocking chair is the other experience. Again, everybody saw.
I'm thinking that sad matron was in that rocking chair. That was her
Yeah.
rocking chair.
Well, and the thing is that they're not understanding the spirits. They're just being scared because
Right.
that's what they're programmed to be scared. And it's
Yeah.
that the very fundamentalist sort of belief system in the family.
Sure.
And they're programmed to think that it's evil because they don't understand
Right. And think about mom blaming herself.
Right.
Because they had
all
done
the guilt and
some
all
sort
the
of weird little,
child's game.
denying thing.
Right.
I got this for the energy of the rocking chair.
Yeah.
So maybe an old woman.
A lot of sadness there.
I feel like I'm just gonna say what just like popped to me as soon as I saw this rose. That this woman who had the house that had those kids, that she had one of her children pass. I don't know if it was at birth or after, and there was a huge grief, and that grief energy attached itself to that rocking chair. Maybe that's where she sat and cried or something like that.
Yeah. And
I got goosebumps on that one, Amber.
Right.
Yeah.
And chances are that chair was, Austin's families. It didn't belong with the house, but they took advantage of the opportunity to use that rocking chair.
I mean, because she could have had her own rocking chair that she sat in.
Yeah.
And then when that came into the house, she's like, "Oh, my chair's back."
Right.
Oh, that's sad.
Hello to the Facebook user that's on one of my. I can't see who you are. Just say your name.
Oh.
Hello.
Talk.
Could be Heather or it could be anyone. But hello.
Come on over to YouTube.
Yeah, they have a bad signal, so I can't. Yeah, but hello. It's one of our friends.
Next.
So, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the part of the story that actually Austin started with is this one that I'm going to refer to now. It still causes him. Now, our son-in-law is, he's a career soldier. He's certainly not a wussy. He's not scared of everything. He's very calm.
He's very calm.
But he was literally
goosebumps.
You could see him. He was worked up. He doesn't even like to drive by that property anymore. The house isn't even there. He won't even drve by.
His face got sweaty.
He did, and he was all goose bumpy, goose flesh. Mm-hmm. So around the same time as the figure in the window. So he was 7 or 8. So it sounded like in the upstairs where the bedrooms were, his bedroom was attached to his parents' bedroom. And so those two had a doorway in between that there was no door in. So Austin's bed was in one room, his parents' bed was in the other room, and you could see both rooms. He was really, really scared. And he said he was always scared at night. So he would sometimes crawl in bed with his parents. And his mom would get out of bed and go into his bed. All right. So now he's in bed with his dad, who kind of tried to calm him down. He goes back to sleep. His mom is in his bed. She's now asleep. Something wakes him, brings him to full alert, and he sits up. And I asked him if he saw this out the window or what, but it was in his mind's eye. Okay, so in his mind's eye, he's looking out at the front yard. So it would have been to the west part of the house, and there was a gigantic crater that was glowing red, and it was like something, I don't know, either an opening or a bomb type thing, or
a crater.
He did call it a crater, but again, he's 7 or 8, so I don't really know. So he Yeah,
Whoa.
there's more to it, but let's
I'm just
look at-
pulling as you talk. When you said
Yeah.
the crater, that's what I pulled.
Wow.
So that's okay. Keep going.
So
Well, she had that portal she had earlier.
right, and so he tries to lie back down, and now like he gets startled again, and he sits up, and standing in the room is this full figure, hooded figure, dark. I asked him if it was translucent, transparent, or solid. He said it was solid.
Oh
And it
my
was
god!
standing in his room between the doorway. Now he couldn't see his mom anymore through the doorway, right? Because now
Oh.
this figure is blocking that
So it was
view.
opaque.
It was opaque. It's like a solid
visible.
figure. So it had a hood on. But what was really weird, he said, is that it had like an old style gas mask. So the picture, the circular glass, see-through
Wow.
visor was, and then
a
and this,
hose.
and well, he
said that was a hose, didn't he say? Because I pictured a hose.
right. That's what I pictured too. But when I was asking him, he goes, it could have been like the structure of this thing's face, but what he saw was that it was a gas mask. Okay, so
Right.
so he's not eliminating the fact that it could have been actually like what this thing looked like, but it was in his mind's eye a gas mask.
UFO extraterrestrial. That's what I got.
With the owl there, yeah.
You said something about Germany earlier.
But
Yeah,
there-
that's
but
where the
there
families
was
were from.
more.
Yeah, I haven't got through yet.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I think that
The reason-
That-
Right.
maybe because there's a portal, it has this type of energy. I don't know what, but I do think that was a landing of an extraterrestrial. I don't know if they parked there because they.
Oh, that does sound like it could be, because I didn't think of that. He didn't say he didn't actually see the crater and the red glow, but that's what he thought was out there.
That's what he was picturing, and I thought he had seen it, but that's what he's seeing in his mind's eye as he's woken up and sitting up in his bed.
Like he just
And
knew
then
that
and there
was
it
there.
was. He was like picturing this thing in his vision.
I
Then he
think
tries to go back to sleep, sits up again. There's this black figure. Now the black figure, not only is it cloaked and it has a gas mask on, but in one hand it's clutching a big black book to its chest, and in the other hand it's holding up a torch that's lit. And he said, I could see it moving. His legs were moving. His body was moving. The flames were moving. It was definitely like a more of a physical manifestation. And so that was kind of the next part that was there. Now, what I think is interesting about the ET thing is that the last thing that Austin saw was, so over the figure, he could see the top of the doorway, right? So his mom's in that room. He's in this room. Can't see his mom, but he could see the top of the doorway. There were 3 that he called TV monitors above the door. And on these TV monitors, it was flashing images. And what he said is that it was showing him everything that he was afraid of, all the things that he feared.
Oh my God, that's an
Yeah.
intense experience.
Right.
I know.
And so now this is flashing above this figure above the doorway. And again, he's 7 or 8.
So he's wide awake. He
He's
sees
wide
the
awake.
in his doorway. It's
Right. He
blocking
was screaming.
the
He was
doorway.
screaming, but his dad never woke up. He looked over and his dad wasn't budging. So, whether, we've all had those experiences when you're screaming and nothing comes out, right? At least I have. At least I have, right?
Yeah, that usually indicates you're out of your body.
Right. So he's screaming and nobody's responding. And that's when he starts seeing the figure. And then now he sees these 3 monitors above the
oh my gosh! I mean,
And he's seeing these monitors.
Yeah. Which we thought was really weird, right?
Yeah, but that's kind
But-
of how out of body experiences can be.
That's true.
That's
mean, you can
true. It can
really
be an out of body
odd
experience.
things.
I'm just going by this. I think it was
The visitation.
a visitation.
right?
Yeah.
They were showing him his fears. That's really
Shadow work, big time.
yeah.
Exactly. So I got the skeleton figure. I'm trying not to. What the heck?
So it's like this.
But this is just justice. I was almost thinking about the angel of death, where they come and say, "Okay, let's review some things."
Right. That's kind of
But in a different, not Azrael, a different angel of, well, not angel, at all.
Or because you got a skeleton that can signify like a gray, like an extraterrestrial. Like I got an owl and you got a skeleton, and many people see.
He is an interesting skeleton too. It's not.
Yeah. Interesting.
So I got a lot of, the fears.
The hooded figure
with a raven.
with a walking stick.
Yeah. And I got, you said a red crater, and I got this like landing outside.
Amazing.
And then this, which is like a UFO, and you've got an owl.
Yeah, the owl.
So honestly, my first inkling was that maybe it was like one of the sons that got killed in World War One. That was the figure, but I'm leaning more toward like it was a visitation of some.
I don't know. I got the dreary squirrel about this all.
Oh, the dreary squirrel.
There's another
Oh my god!
But here's what's interesting. You're talking about the son got killed, and I'm looking at this.
Yeah, we don't. I don't know that, but
I
that
don't
was
know
just an
that,
inkling.
but with 6 children
Right.
at that time,
It would have been World War One or World War Two. Even it might have been a little bit late for World War Two, actually. But
I have a question. Remember when you saw those like 100 lights that you took video of?
the Rhiannon
Did.
Yeah.
Was that close by that place, or was that far away?
within a few miles.
oh yeah, this is the area.
Yeah, within a few
All
miles.
within the area.
It seems like an active area, just in any case.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
It's got some energy underneath the ground, maybe that makes it like.
If you do a straight line from that property to Leanne's property now, it would probably be about a little over 3 miles.
It's a hellmouth here.
Candy says, "Do you know the name of the son's name that got killed?"
No, and again, we don't. I tried doing some.
The kids' names.
We don't even know if there was a son in the family. It could have been all girls for all we know.
I mean,
I haven't been able to find out, but that was just something we were talking about. Going, yeah, I'm wondering.
But it would be fairly not too hard to just find out what church they went to, go to the graveyard, and find the old graves, and then you'd get dates and
vortex. Yeah,
you get dates, and you'd get, you could actually look up vital records and find out.
So that's something we could check into.
Yeah. So,
but I just
gone that far
just
yet.
haven't done it.
It's all just happened since the 4th of July. So
all of this?
Like 4 days into this.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now, so and then the last thing I wanted to talk about is that now I don't know what Austin would consider a nightmare, but he said that whenever he
starts getting a nightmare,
when he knows he's going to have a nightmare, because what he always sees is that same glowing crater. He doesn't see the figure anymore, but what he'll see in his dream is this glowing crater, and then he'll get into this bad dream or a nightmare.
I believe that he did see it. Like, he says it's in his mind. Like, maybe he kind of repressed it slightly. If he keeps dreaming of this thing that he pictured in his mind, I think maybe he saw it.
Yeah.
It was a visitation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Be nice
maybe he's had many visitations, and because of the visitations, there's been a lot of paranormal activity there. I don't know. I'm just throwing
all of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
All at the same time.
All of the above.
Spirits connected to it. The disruption of the land, having white people come in after there was no white people here. There was no white people out here. And then all of a sudden there's a town that springs up within 40 years.
Watertown was like the second or third largest city in the state back in the 1850s.
Right.
Late 1850s.
A big historical German and Irish town that was full of German reformers, and it was cultural. It had an opera house and a couple opera houses, I think, and money, and it was a lot of people from New York who were relocating out here,
which is why it's called Watertown. It was originally called Johnson Rapids, and then so Watertown, New York, is considered our sister city.
Right.
So they renamed it Watertown.
So probably when that cabin was built, it was probably still Johnson Rapids.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
So they're talking about CERN in the chat, and they're saying that CERN, which is what is that, nuclear energy? That's the group for I'm like nuclear energy. They restarted on July 5th and will run it for 4 years. It's expected that our energy will be affected, but not sure how. Interesting.
It was a weird night last night.
It was a weird night. And so when we visited the site, when I got home, I burned some kinnikinnick, just to smudge a little bit. But it wasn't even last night. Was it even the night before? Was it last night?
It was last night.
With that flashing light?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, there was some definite weird energy going on in the house.
Well, we thought it was a cop pulling somebody over, but it wasn't red and blue light. It was just white light.
And we couldn't see it down the street.
We couldn't see where it was coming from. It was enough that our windows were flashing. And I felt like, is there something flashing? And I was also seeing little white sparks that would linger and stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And then little black sparks that would linger and stay there.
Black sparks? I've never seen
that. Very, like in the dark, you could see this spot of black, and then a very bright white spot of white, and then lots of globular things. It wasn't a zizzy energy that was going to keep me awake.
Yeah, it wasn't.
But I was awake, and I was just, it wasn't scary, but I was just like, I'm not falling asleep tonight. I see a lot of things in this room. I'm not scared. I don't feel scared.
Well, and the other thing too is we were hearing auditory stuff. You were hearing like
I heard chimes before the chimes went off.
Right.
I'm hearing interesting things. I heard a bird in my room, and it was this morning. It was like, I know there's no birds.
Really?
And that's what I was hearing last night.
You're hearing a bird?
Birds, yeah.
Yeah. And then, Amber, did you read my message about the white shadow I saw?
Oh, yes. Tell us about that.
So I was just watching TV, and from the right corner, about 1/4 of the TV width, I saw a white shadow pass by, about maybe 14 inches worth of movement. And I just kind of went, did that, what? So I looked behind me thinking maybe I caught something in reflection of my glasses, but there's just a wall behind me, so it couldn't have been
a car passing with its lights on or something.
Right. But it was during the day too, so there's no way. And I'm just like, this just happened, a white shadow, and I could just see that it was almost a person's form.
Wow.
It was really, and I just sat there in awe going, then I kept looking behind me. I try to debunk things when they happen to me.
Sure.
Yeah. But there was just, it couldn't have been a reflection in my glasses or anything. I was staring straight ahead, and there's a wall behind me. So it was really interesting. That happened around 4 or later, I think.
Wow. And I'm just reading some interesting stuff in the chat. Well, down below, you could see that on the screen, right? It looks Magellan's Journey. It looks like there are intersecting energy grid lines near Madison, Wisconsin.
Like ley line types, or are we talking like physical, like national energy type grids? You're talking about ley lines? There's a lot of, like Madison's pretty intense.
Yeah, Madison's intense.
There's a lot of water, and there's a lot of effigy mounds there.
Yeah.
There's a lot
of
in Madison.
That's interesting.
There's mountains here.
Right, and just south of where we're talking about on Spalding Street, there is a street still called Mound Street. We were joking before about, we moved the headstones, but not the bodies, right? That was all burial ground for Potawatomi. And they supposedly moved everything, but it was back in probably the 50s and 60s, and so who really knows?
Interesting. Mel was saying that she's seen white mist at the foot of her bed twice now, but her eyes are okay. She went and got them checked. So
that white mist, I've taken pictures of, and even just recently there was when we went to Washington, my cousin's wedding. I took a picture of an orb outside near a tree, and then what I couldn't see actually, or what I didn't notice, is there was white mist all around the tree, but there wasn't And I've taken pictures of the white mist in my room. In many,
had it in our house.
yeah, that white mist occurs a lot. That's like very common in
Yeah.
these.
Yeah, it was actually a couple of weeks ago. I'd walked out into the backyard. It was date. I mean, it was morning. I was going out to work, and it was like there was a fog there, and I was like, was I like looking at my phone too long or what? And it stayed there for a while, and then it went away. And it never dawned on me that it would be like some sort of a white mist. I mean, that's what it looked like. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
That's interesting.
We're just starting to be aware of all the weird
Yeah.
things going on.
One time I saw the coolest mist. We were driving to Niagara Falls, and it was in the middle of the night. It was very late, and we were going past. Where were we going past? We were going past like maybe somewhere near the Poconos in Pennsylvania on the way, and we passed this really old cemetery, which looks so cool. It looked like broken down and old, and I always like to like. I was in the car though.
Let's go.
And then there was a mist like coming down from the mountains, rolling through the graveyard. I was like, "Oh my god!" Me and my aunt were like, "Look at that!" But I didn't take a picture. I wish I had a picture of that. It was so cool. It looked like a movie.
So is there something? I think Austin will probably watch this later, but is there something that we can pass along to him? Do you think, like, some way of closure?
Yeah, actually, that was a question I was going to have. Is what resolve can we come to? I was asking about the overall energy of the place, and I still feel it's a woman, but I also got a misty-faced man.
That's cool. What does Austin most want to know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he really wanted to know anything. Whatever, we were just.
Does he know we were doing this?
He just wanted to talk about it, and I asked him if it was okay.
Okay.
And so.
Okay. So, what message can we give Austin about all this?
Let's sum it up. Like, what was Austin experiencing? Let's see what cards we pick. What was Austin experiencing?
Huh.
What was it? The portal?
Up again.
A portal. Let's see what else. We've got the portal one.
I can use the energy, perhaps.
I got the Six of Pentacles again. I'm just getting that it's the
little strawberry. No,
it's a gift.
That's not strawberries.
That was a gift.
The world.
The moon.
Or was it the moon? Okay.
I see a UFO there. You got a portal.
UFOs on the brain.
You've got a portal. You've got a UFO going on,
Moon.
and you can use this as a gift,
right?
Right. The gift
for insight and understanding and getting some closure.
Yeah.
But I also, when I see the branch, I do still think of the carpenter.
The gift of knowing that there's more
than just this,
than just our time, and that these entities still have feelings, they still exist.
Mm-hmm.
They're not evil, they just have unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. There's definitely a woman that has great sadness that's there. I still think there's a gentleman there that may have been an immigrant.
They're all immigrants.
Yeah.
The guy
One of the original immigrant.
Yeah.
A lot of some stuff happened there too that we're not aware of. That I've got the Five of Swords, and there's that was Seven of Wands, and there's a little hooded character in the background, so we don't know who he was and what his energy's about.
There's something unfinished for these people who lived there.
Yeah.
Well, here's a little historical background.
Okay.
In the 19th century, the German culture was honored and thought of as being cultural and high culture, and they were emulated, and German was spoken in the homes, and it was taught in the schools.
Mm-hmm.
And then after World War II, suddenly the Germans became the enemy combatants. And when they were, even there's maps of Wisconsin during the time of World War II and World War I, where they're mapped out as enemy combatants, the people who lived in Lebanon, the people who lived, they had little circles on the map to show where these enemy combatants were. So they were pro-German, and they were anti-American, and there was a whole movement to hush them up, and that people were not allowed to speak German, and they were not allowed to speak German in school. And even my uncles, who were German, and my grandparents, my great-grandparents, who only spoke German, like my little uncles were not allowed to speak German in school, and they were ostracized for it, like speaking German in school. So there was a whole turn from being like these Germans who were honored and beloved into these enemies. And this happens in the United States, and it's still happening.
Well, if you think about it, the Native Americans went through the same exact thing, right? And then it just gets revisited by another immigrant group coming through.
Right.
That's interesting.
So
Yeah.
like
It gets revisited and
sort of take turns with who's the
Guy.
villain now.
Yeah.
And it's this dehumanizing. And so I'm thinking that some of these, because the
the only true villain
is changed to Water Street, and these people, their culture is being dishonored and disgraced.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There's sadness in there.
There is that. They're not finished. They're not.
Yeah.
Not honoring their culture, and they've had to like become Americans quickly.
Yeah.
You can understand why the English don't trust the Germans being after all that blitzkrieg stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I have some German ancestors as well.
That's just one group. The people weren't like that. Just like now, you have a few bad leaders and you have a few followers.
Thank you, Mel.
Well, I definitely if I went through my cards, definitely there was a moment of somebody coming over, having their dreams come true, and then circumstances. I still think there was an affair, but definitely a lot of loss. And like you said, their dreams were shattered because they were able to come here, be who they were, and then all of a sudden they're saying you can't be Germans, don't speak it, or it's really sad.
It is. And I felt that loss of a child there too.
Yeah, there was definitely loss of a child.
Interesting. So I just think it's a whole mix of things. There's definitely a portal there. That's what you could tell Austin. You could say there was a big old portal there. And
maybe us just talking about it will help to heal.
Yeah.
And help those people to be heard and to be honored and allow them to move on.
And so bottom of the deck, people, the star.
There we go. That's hope. That's the soul from shining through, and a release of the ego. So,
and that's something that Julie and I can work on too, is that whole healing that property. And we'll see if Austin and Rhiannon want to be a part of that or not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would really help him.
Yeah.
I think. Just for myself, if Austin's hearing this, I've experienced, being terrified of a house when I was a child, being terrified night after night, day after day. And it was very traumatic. Like, you can get PTSD from these experiences, and people are like, oh, they don't exist, but they do.
Yeah. Then your sanity is in question.
Right. Then your sanity is in question. So I think him being involved in the healing of the land could be really healing for him.
I'll definitely approach it with him.
And if you can just let him know, part of those energies were a very sobbing mother who was unhappy, and maybe she didn't mean to scare him.
Yeah.
But the other cloaked characters and stuff, I wouldn't know how to address that.
Owls. Those are just extraterrestrials coming to this.
All right, extraterrestrial or not? What do we got? I don't know.
I think both.
Let's think
A
about
whole group of them.
I think all. Oh yeah.
Look at that!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're cryptids.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that's a
They're
pretty.
cryptids.
Those are the things.
It
that
was
I
a Sasquatch with a hood on.
They're skinwalkers.
Yeah.
They just don't look
Oh
like
my
us.
I just got chills everywhere that he may have seen a skinwalker.
Oh my God. No.
I'm
You
getting
think?
chills. I'm getting. Oh my god.
Well, who knows what the native people were thinking with all those people moving into their place too. I don't know. There's a lot of
Hear noises.
there's a
Like
lot of
Lincoln Time Banner.
Yeah, right. I'm getting heavy skinwalker things.
Wow.
We'll
Well-
talk it out. It'll be all right.
Right.
We'll
Well,
At
make
least
it
you
out.
have something to hold on to. Well, Brendan.
Sauerbraten.
We'll make food and we'll share food and we'll all be fine. It'll be
You know, that's a good idea, though, is to take a plate of offering.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Take some tobacco, cornmeal, offer it to the land.
Water.
Mhm.
Yeah, some water. That sounds good.
Something.
Oh, Gigi is laughing.
Sauerbraten. Yeah. Hey, that's my 3% German coming out.
The only word I could think of was sauerkraut. I don't.
I have Dutch German on my grandmother's father's side, I think, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And my
What's that?
dad was German, not my adopted dad. He was German, so his mother and father had that accent and everything. And
Oh yeah. You
very
got to
strict
hear that.
people.
One time I was in Israel and I was talking to he was Jewish, but he was German. He was from Germany. And I was younger and I was like, can you just yell at me in German? I was like, I just want to
That's like an everyday conversation.
like,
isn't
I
it?
just really, he was like so embarrassed. I'm like, just do it. Just do it.
Hasta Libra, nine.
So when I came home, I said to my brother, I said, "Oh, I was talking. I met this friend in Israel. He's German." And my brother, the first thing my brother goes is, "Did you get him to yell at you?" I was like, "You think a lot."
What?
Does he know you?
Why?
The sound of it. I just wanted to hear.
Most women would ask the German, "Can you speak to me in a romantic?" Not yell at me.
I don't know. But apparently my brother wanted that too. So I guess we think alike. I don't know. What
Actually,
it is.
Brendan took
Here,
German in
Amber,
high
you better
school.
find out what it is.
What's that?
You better find out what that is. There's something there.
There's something there.
That's
We're gonna deal with that
interesting.
one.
Past life. I don't
You
know.
better,
Told
Yeah.
My
Get
brother
out the
and I.
whips.
you better resolve that
Nine
one. That's a
tails.
whole other blanky time right
That's
there.
yeah.
Anyway.
Everything,
Yeah.
right?
I'm pulling a card on that one, Amber.
Gigi said
That's a little
I don't know what
that's
that
a
is.
strange perspective.
"Where's that missed again?"
I found it even more funny when I said to my brother, and he was just like, "Tell me you got him to yell at you." And I was like, "We never even
That's
discussed that.
hysterical.
Like, why do you want that too?" I don't know.
Well, Gigi said she
Gigi's
can.
gonna have to yell at me sometime.
Just say something. Anything. I know nothing. That's what I mean.
I know nothing.
Terrible.
I see nothing. I hear nothing. I know nothing.
Anyway, this has been really fun,
Thank you
everyone,
so
and
much.
I'm so excited for Ginger's channel.
I hope
Last
this is bacon
chance,
stuff.
if you-
Yay.
big clap, round of applause for Ginger starting her channel. If you're still on my channel, please go to Ginger's channel right now. I'm putting it again in the chat. Sub, like it, comment, everything. Let's give Ginger an awesome start to her channel.
Yes.
We just can't wait
Thank you
to
so
see
much, everyone.
many, many more. So yay for Ginger. And
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
everyone. Everyone's clapping for you. All right,
Well, most
guys.
of you know me on Facebook and in the Hidden Hollow. So if you do have a haunting you'd like investigated, just message me and let me know.
Yeah. Yeah. Message Ginger or write in the comments below so we could get back to you, or Ginger could get back to you. This is her show now. So
Thank you so much, everyone, for making this a wonderful time.
this is awesome. Thank you, Julie and Peter, for all the hard work that you did on it. They actually went out to the house and took pictures and
And
investigated.
video and
We got the whole story, so they did a lot of work for
you
this.
guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
So
Thank you,
you.
everybody.
All right, everyone. I'm going to end the stream. Have a wonderful weekend. You guys just stay there for a second so I could say thank you. And this has been awesome.
Faye blessings,
Do
everyone.
the long wave goodbye. Bye, everyone.